What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at this knife. This is the Benchmade Freek. This is the newer version in M4 and these really nice G10 handles. Some people like to call it the Super Freak. It's the upgrade version. Really nice. This is a M4 blade steel. As you can see there, nice coating on there. And this really nice G10 handles, like layered G10, black and gray, with these red like layers of G10 at the bottom. Look really good. I like the way they did that. Really pops. It really stands out. The red stands out. It's got the nice little red back spacers there, or the standoffs there. Look really good. Anodized or whatever. Looks really good. Definitely one of really nice looking knives. I definitely love the look of this knife. I didn't used to. I thought it looked a little bit weird because it like came up, and the blade was a little bit higher than the handle. But honestly, I really like the look of it, and it's grown on me over time. This is a full-size knife made by Benchmade, and it's awesome. I absolutely love this knife. One thing that stands out to me probably the most about this knife is just how comfy it is. This is one of the comfiest knives I've ever tried, and definitely one of the comfiest knives in my collection. It fits your hand so well. This G10 is contoured. There's no sharp edges at all. The only thing I can feel is this pocket clip, and this is a Benchmade mini pocket clip used for bug outs. This is a bug out clip. I put it on there just because I like the bug out clip a little bit better than the longer ones that this had. Also, it's deep carry. Um, but other than that, you can't really feel anything else. That's the only part of this knife you can really feel on your hand. It just feels really, it's so comfy, really, really comfy. The lock-in grip here, this is where you want to be. It just feels great. Feels like you have a lot of control, and it just feels perfect. And there's the nice little jimping here for your thumb. Around that little ramp fits my hand perfectly. Really, really well done by Benchmade. This really nice looking kind of leafy shaped blade. Kind of really nice subtle drop point here. Not too thick. It's got the double thumb studs. This is a fully ambidextrous knife. So right hand, left hand carry either way. It's an ambidextrous lock. And so really nice there. Very thin compared to like an Adamas. It's definitely thinner than Adamas. The cutting edges comes down to a slicier cutting edge. And this M4 takes a really wicked edge. Feels really good. Slices excellently. Even feels great in the left hand grip too, because my thumb my pinky finger and my ring finger land right there on the pocket clip, but it lands like right in that hole. It's kind of cool. Fits perfectly in my hand. It's got the butterfly on this side, Benchmade butterfly. This is the model. Which model is this? This is the 560. That's what the model this one is. It's the model number on there. And then on this side, just M4 steel, just says M4. Really cool. It's got a nice wedge. It's flat ground. Comes down to a great cutting edge. Just a really, really nice overall knife. I carried this a little bit. I only stropped it up. I never had to resharpen it. I used it a little bit, but it held an edge great. And the action is really nice on this one. It's kind of, I put a little bit of KPL in there, and it flicks open really well, and then it pull back and it drops shut. So feels really, really, really good. So one thing about this knife, it feels more solid than the Adamas. Here, you can check centering here. Centering looks pretty perfect, which is incredible because Benchmades usually have, well, it can sometimes be off-centered. This knife has excellent action compared to other Benchmade knives. The bug outs don't, have this good of action. At least some of the ones I've tried don't. Sometimes you get them to be really nice like that, nice and smooth. But this one in particular has always been really, really smooth and great action. It also has a clickier detent. I say that because it's not really detent because it uses the Axis style lock, of course. But what feels like a detent is it feels like a bigger snap than a Adamas or other Benchmades that I've tried. It just feels like a more substantial click out into the open position, and it just feels more authoritative. It feels better. It just feels a lot better. So the action on this, I would say, is pretty much the best on any of the Benchmades I've tried. The Adamas is a close second, maybe, but it absolutely feels the snappiest, if you can get it right. A little bit weird with the left hand. But yeah, definitely really nice. It's also the comfiest of the Benchmades, absolutely. Now the Freek, or the Adamas has these. My Adamas in particular has these nice aluminum scales on there, which makes it really comfy. But the stock ones are not as comfy. The stock scales that comes with. But this is seriously a very, very comfy knife. So let's see what else we got. It's kind of thick. The handles are kind of thick. Let's compare it to a bug out. This is something you'll notice. It's a little bit wide in the pocket. As you can see there, it's a little bit taller than the bug out is. The bug out's a little bit thin. So that's something to think about. These run on washers, of course, phosphor bronze washers. So it's going to keep your grit and grime out of the pivot pretty well. It won't get gummed up like bearings will. And usually Benchmades have a lot of blade play, or at least a little bit more blade play than other knives typically do, from my experience. This one is almost completely solid. There's like a half a hair of up and down maybe, but it's almost completely solid. It just feels really, really good, which is impressive for a Benchmade. This is definitely the Benchmade that it has the best lockup out of the ones that I have. So, and out of the ones I've tried as well. So I would have to say this is probably tied for one of the best, my favorite Benchmades. These are my two favorite Benchmades right here. I mean, that's them, the Adamas and the Freek. I absolutely love them. That's a good size comparison as well here. You see the Adamas is a little bit bigger. Closely, I mean, I like the bug out a lot. It's not my favorite, but I do like it a lot, and it works really well when I'm like want just a really light knife. But this is definitely like a easy medium between these two. It really is like a perfect in the middle, size-wise, thickness-wise, cutting-wise, everything. It just feels like the nice medium between the beefy, chunky Adamas and the really thin, light bug out. This seems like the perfect in the middle. It still has the strength of an Adamas, without being as huge. And I've heard that this is also one of the stronger Benchmades as far as testing the lock on them. I don't know as much because I haven't tested it myself, but that's at least what I've heard. So really, really awesome knife. I love this thing. Sorry, I'm gonna do some size comparisons because I just keep gushing about this thing. So let's do Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. You see there, it's about the size of a PM2. There you go. Maybe a little bit bigger than the PM2, slightly longer, and definitely larger than the Para 3. So you're talking full-size knife here, for sure. I really like this size of knife. This size, it just makes so much sense in my head, at least for my hands. Let's do ZT-0308. And let's also see, it's not quite as long as that knife. Let's also compare it to the QSP Penguin, a little bit smaller, and the bug out, of course, which I already compared it to. So those are a little bit smaller as well, or a little bit smaller than the Freek. And then I'd also like to compare it to some other knives in my collection that are the most comfy, because I have this knife and because it's one of the comfiest I've ever, had in my collection. I'd like to compare it to some other ones, some other comfy knives that I would consider to be the most comfy in my hand. This knife. This is the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon, one of the comfiest knives in existence, in my opinion. It just it's molded for my hand. It just feels great. So as far as ergonomics go, these would be on the top of the list for me, at least in my collection. So definitely the full-size Evo Typhoon by Sharp by Design. Of course, completely different style knife, but definitely up there as far as comfort goes, as well as this knife, which I recently got, the Riot Tiger. I got that at a local knife show. As you can see here, it's about the same size, just about the same size as the Tiger, and the Tiger is super ergonomic as well. This thing is a hand masterpiece, just as far as fitting in your hand. It's great. And then another two of them that I consider pretty comfy, maybe not as comfy, but pretty darn comfy, is this one, the Vero Engineering Nova, and the ZT-0308 actually is also very, very comfy for my hands as well. And I never really talked about, which ones in my collection are the comfiest, but these are definitely on there. The Nova, which is awesome, and the 308, which this new fat carbon scale kind of helps out with that because it's rounded and really nice and comfy. But That's all right. I know I keep saying comfy a million times. Anyway, yeah, just really cool Benchmade knife. Let me know what you guys think about this thing. I will do one more thing about on this knife. I will take the weight so you can see how much it weighs. It's about a 3.6-inch cutting edge, I believe. And for 4 ounces, that's pretty darn good, especially considering you're getting a full-size knife for that much. I really like these G10 handles. They did an excellent job. I mean, I really wouldn't change much about this. The only thing I did change was the clip, and that's because I prefer the deep carry. But really, it's awesome, and I love it. And the coating protects the M4 from getting rusted a little bit, which is really good because you know, I like more stainless knives usually. But really, really cool. Absolutely love this knife. Great, really one of the best Benchmades, right beside the Adamas. So that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Please let me know what you think about the Adamas and the Freek and what your favorite Benchmade is. I know Benchmade is kind of crazy on their prices. That's why you kind of got to buy them on the secondary. But anyway, that's it for this one. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. Bye.